Hello, and fantastic to have you here. Welcome to Nuts and Bolts. Great to have you. We have got a great session on today, and it's all around emotional intelligence, or EQ. So you may have heard of it, right? It's a buzzword that's been around for a long, long time. But let me tell you, when you're talking about leadership, when you're talking about work teams, when you're talking about relationships at work, EQ has got a major factor in how you deal with your team, how you deal with problem solving, how you manage your own stress, all those sorts of things. It's really, really important. So what I want to explain to you today is what EQ is made up of, and then what you can do to try and discover how you are with it. Okay, so there's lots and lots of surveys you can do out there. There's lots of things that you can do to measure your EQ, and then it's about being mindful of how can you build it, how can you build upon what you already have. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own emotions, how to understand them, how to manage them, especially in relationship type things, especially in workplace relationships, right? So it's made up of 5 main components, and the 5 components are self-awareness. So this is about how well do you know yourself? How comfortable are you in your own skin? Everybody has blind spots that they don't know about themselves. How much of those have you been able to uncover? Do you know how you react in certain ways, or why you react in certain ways? So that self-awareness is really, really important. Being able to know what your strengths are, where your areas of opportunity are. And you can do lots and lots of surveys to try and build that self-awareness. You can ask for feedback from others to build that self-awareness. So all of those things are really, really important. The second one I want to talk to you about is self-regulation. So this is all about knowing that you're going to go into a situation, whether it's at work or otherwise, and you're going to have an emotive response. So whether that's having a crucial conversation, whether that's going into a meeting and about to do a presentation, whatever that means, it's about how do you manage those emotions? How do you manage those feelings? And that self-regulation is a component of that. So knowing that you're going to have a response and then determining how you're going to manage that response. So that's the second one. The third one is motivation. So this is how do we strive towards those goals that we want to achieve? We need to have self-awareness and know what we're good at and know what we're not good at. We need self-regulation, knowing that we're going to really enjoy the stuff we're good at, and when we have to come across those things that we're not good at. For example, I am not a details person, so I like the big picture, and when I have to get into a spreadsheet or get into the detail, I know that I'm going to suffer, but I manage that and I do it and I get through it, and I just bite off chunks at a time to be able to get me through it. So I know that I struggle in those areas. So it's all about how can you keep your motivation up? What can you do? How do you fill your batteries? How do you make sure that you can keep your goals set, achievable, specific, all those SMART goals, all those sorts of things. So it's that motivation. The fourth one is empathy. So it's sensing what other people are feeling. So do you sense in your team when people aren't quite right, when they're a bit off, when they're really happy, when they're really sad? So those sorts of recognition of empathy is really, really important in EQ. So we need to be able to read a room. If you're having a team meeting and there's some of your team members that you think, yeah, they're usually cheerful and happy and chatty and whatever, and suddenly there's a bit of silence going around, then you need to know that as a leader to be able to go, okay, this is something I need to explore. This is something I need to make sure everything's okay. So having that empathy is really, really important and a big part of EQ. And the last one, of course, number 5, is the social skills. So it's handling relationships well, being able to work in a social sort of environment. And some people are better at it than others, and that's okay. This is something you can build, and it's something that you can get better at. So it's a matter of understanding what you're really good at. Are you a good problem solver? Can you settle disputes really well? Can you negotiate really well? So all of those sorts of things are part of those social skills. So if you can do them really well, fantastic, you just build on those. And if there are areas of opportunity for you, then what can we do to make you stronger in those areas? So just quickly, EQ, really big part of being a leader, really big part of enjoying those workplace relationships and home relationships, made up of 5 things: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So what can you do to try and build those of yourself? Well, I hope that helped. Let me know if you've got any questions. Remember, if you've got any burning platforms, issues, problems, concerns, anything that you want to ask me, just get online, ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. We'll throw a video just like this one together and throw it your way. All right, so until next week, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week on Nuts and Bolts. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.